Sangohan 404, the eternal Sangohan 404, says, have you tried out Bayonetta since you're a fan of puns and references? There are lots from Sega in this game. And by the way, is it just me or is DC a bit of an anti-Sega? For instance, he says, I miss the good old Genesis time, and I don't mean the console. Have I tried out? I've not tried out Bayonetta. I've heard good things about it. I do like my puns and references, but I don't know, like, I don't even know what console it's for. If it's for 360, I might give it a try, but it just has seemed like the kind of thing I'm not really into that much. DC DC has words about Sega. He doesn't mind the company, I don't think so much, but he really, I've gotten the impression that he doesn't like the Genesis. At least he maintains that he doesn't like the sound chip, which is something he's out. It's not a secret with him. If you ask him, he'll tell you that the Genesis' sound chip is inferior to the Super Nintendo's, which is, who would disagree? At the same time, I used to get kind of fed up with him about it because every time I brought up the Genesis or a Genesis soundtrack, you guys know how much I love Dynamite Headdy, right? You guys know how much that I love that soundtrack. Like, I worship that soundtrack. It's so good. And so every time I brought up the Genesis or a game or a soundtrack, he would always talk about how much he disliked the Genesis sound chip. And eventually got to the point where I was just like, I know that, okay, you don't have to bring it up every time. But so yeah, like, he has something against the Genesis that way, because he's really into music and soundtracks. Other than that, I don't really think he has anything against, like, say, the gameplay or the Saturn or the Dreamcast or anything like that. But if it's okay for me to say, I don't think he would mind me saying this, he grew up on Nintendo and on Sony. So, it was just something I think that he missed out on. Doop, doop, doop.